Hey friends, it's Sonia. How is your day going? Happy Sunday to you guys. It's our weekly check-in. I will be adding more vlogs to this channel as we move forward, but for right now, definitely tune back in weekly, every weekend or so. And yeah, just come back and see what I'm talking about, see what I'm doing. But the overall theme of this is artist life, brush life. Yeah, just using your creative talents to be able to make a living and doing what you love. So if you fall in any of those categories, that's good. I'm glad you're here. In fact, tell me below, are you somebody that wants to make maybe money from your art? Are you somebody that does art for your personal enjoyment? Are you somebody who journals? Are you somebody who keeps your art to yourself? Do you share it with the world? I would love to know just, what category you fall into. So I am somebody who used to basically do art in my garage. And I eventually started selling it on like Sales Trades Want site, and before you know it, it blossomed into this beautiful thing that is now my full-time job, my full-time career, my full-time purpose in life, and I am loving it. There is such a good feeling when you get to do what you love every single day. If you want to do it every single day, it's just whatever day of the week I want to do art, I can do art. And and I fully embrace the fact that I can do that. But there was a time that I couldn't because I was doing the regular 9 to 5, but man, I could not wait to get home to be able to, as I always say, put my stretchy pants on, do my thing, and just let the paint fly. But now I'm at a point where I do what I do full time. My husband was also able to leave his career, his full-time career, and now we both work together, which is amazing to be able to just, set your own schedules and do your own thing, work hard, play hard. We've heard that phrase before, but it's true. You do get to, when you do what you do full time, it doesn't mean that, hey, excuse me, I have no responsibilities, I can do whatever. No, you still have responsibilities to take care of. It's just that you get to formulate your day the way that fits you. So you guys know, for example, I am a night owl. So that means, when I've done jobs that have required me to start work at 4:45 a.m. in the morning, it probably really wasn't in line with my true self, right? I did it because I had to do it. But now that I get to set my own schedule, I am not starting work at 4:45 a.m. 4:45 a.m., well, it may come twice in the day. That's possible if I stay up that late. But yeah, no thank you. That's not when I really want to start work. Unless I'm doing a painting overnight, that's beautiful. So this week has been beautiful. We had some great weather here. I don't know about you guys, but the sunshine always makes me happy. I need vitamin D. I am all about cozy, warm, cozy, and I love the fall time frame when we have that change of seasons. But I still need the sunshine. I need the sunshine, and I love those cozy days that come maybe after having a few fully blasted sunshiny kind of days. We have been working in the yard this week. You guys have been seeing me. If you follow me on my other socials, you have been seeing me, work in my backyard, in this new old home that we purchased, getting outside this year to do some yard work, some more things that I've wanted to do to the yard, like painting fences and things like that. So it feels so good to get out and just do that and just soak up the vitamin D. It is so good for, it's just so good for your mental health. And so, and I found myself, even though I'm just painting a gate or something like that, I'm just flooded with all the ideas that I have that I, can't wait to get back and paint, and it feels so good, So anyhow, it's just really good. So are you guys doing yard work right now? Even if it is raking leaves, I think yesterday I raked like 12 bags of leaves, me and Matt, and today if it was sunny out, it's kind of like in between right now, but this morning we woke up and we just had this big old downpour. It was beautiful. And I think that, when the days come where we have the rain following the sunshiny days, I just go, oh, it's so refreshing to stay home. It's like, Mother Nature gives you the day off. She says, you don't have to go rake leaves today, Sonia. No need to go out and, pick up sticks and all that stuff in your backyard today. You've done that. So today you get to stay home a little bit and just relax. And so just to ease into the day. So today has been a great, beautiful, rainy Sunday. And I have learned that I am definitely, I think it's called pluvivore, which is a lover of rain. Anybody else? So I don't want it to be rainy all the time, But yeah, I do like when we have those days. It's just because it just kind of grounds you, grounds you. It grounds me. On sunshiny days, I bop around, and on rainy days, I just get to, yeah, sit in here, one of my favorite rooms in our house, and read a book and just think about, you know, the week ahead. So today's rainy day really came on a good day. So I thought we would do something a little different today. I am somebody, especially more and more, just, you know, I realize that that you are different, that you are you, and don't try to be like anyone else, which is one of the things I want to talk about today, ironically. I want to talk to you guys today about going full-time creative and just the things that I've learned along the way. I thought it might be interesting to some of you guys. Some of you guys who might just be at the start of your journey right now and hoping to be able to do what you do full-time. Your creative talents, use them, you possess them, and to be able to do it full-time and just do what you love. It is just such a wonderful thing when you get to tap into what your gift is, and then especially when you share your gift with other people and they love it too. It just makes for just absolute satisfaction. So I hope that you guys this week have been working on your art, whatever it is, whether you paint furniture, whether you do photography, whether you knit, whether you crochet, whether you mosaic, it doesn't really matter. Just do what you love, because you know what you love, right? Just pick the one thing and do it. But today I was going to talk to you guys about, I don't know, maybe I'll see how far we get because I wrote down a lot of things this week that I just kind of had like not epiphanies about, but I just took the time to think through them and go, yeah, you know what? I should have told myself back this when I started. Maybe I was harder on myself. And so I'm going to talk about, the title of this video will tell you how far I get. I think I wrote down about 20 things. I think if I told you 20 things that I've learned right now, it would be a little overwhelming. So I just tune back in for the next few videos. Let me pull up my screen here real fast, and I'm going to go ahead and, yeah, talk you guys through the things that I've learned. Let me pull up my notes here on my computer and see if they can be helpful to you guys. You know, going out on my own, doing my thing, doing what I do. So basically, I guess I'll title this something like, you know, becoming a full-time creative, things that I've learned along the way that maybe I didn't know when I started. All right, so we're just going to do this video as a train of thought, meaning that we're just gonna, you know what, I'm not going to splice this all up. I'm just gonna have it one full train of thought, and hopefully I can get through this without any edits. So the number one thing I wrote down is to tell myself that, you know what, I'm still growing, that you don't know it all. So meaning that if you're just waiting to get started, like I'm gonna put my stuff out into the world, I'm gonna share the stuff that I'm doing when I get better. Oh, it's not good enough just yet. When I get better, and you keep holding yourself back, what you don't realize is, you know, maybe you've been working on what you've been working on now for years, for, I don't know, for a period of time. So where you are right now is already even ahead of somebody else. So you're hard on yourself, but you know what? You're still chapters ahead of somebody else that would really appreciate what you're doing and fall in love with what you're doing. Also, the fact is, you think that, you know, I'm not going to put my stuff out into the world until I get so good, and then I'll release it, when you don't realize that you're good right now. Like, you're fine right now with where you are, and progress will happen, and it's all part of the journey. So, you know, you don't have to wait. One of the things I've been easier on myself is, you know, taking a picture of something, even if it's not quite where you want it to be. You'll see me do paintings here on this channel where I've painted, and then I might come in after I've turned the camera off and you've seen it up to that point, but I come back in and I do some more work on it. That doesn't mean that I can't put out what I did to the world, because you can inspire other people. People will find beauty in what you've already done. And yeah, we talked about it before, we are just so hard on ourselves. We are our own worst critic. And so, you know, don't do that. Oh my goodness. How many times have you, like I say, you've been to somebody's house or you've seen something in the corner and you go, that is beautiful. And they go, oh, really? I didn't think it was that great. And, oh yeah, it's gorgeous, you know, or somebody sees something that you've done, or maybe they did see something that you've done and they say, can I buy one of those off of you? And you're thinking, I didn't even put that out for anybody, but yeah, of course you can, right? So yeah, and also do a test. Put your stuff out there. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised the confidence that it can give you. Because if you put something out there that you're working on, and even though you don't think it's the greatest, and somebody likes it, or somebody shares it, or somebody comments, or somebody reaches out to you, you know, those little things can give you confidence to do it again and again, right? So don't hold back. Put it out there. Be yourself. And yeah, be completely you. So the second thing, and these are in no particular order, I just kind of like did a brain dump here, is that you think you have to be like everyone else, but what you don't realize is that your superpower is you're not like anybody else. Now, when you start painting, you might look at other people's paintings and be inspired by them. You can even try to copy somebody else's paintings, not to sell, because obviously that would be copyright infringement. But what I'm talking about is if you see something and you go, boy, I really like that technique. I wonder, if I can get something to look similar. Like I like that texture, or something about that painting just really makes me happy. You're not trying to copy to sell, but I mean like in your journal, you're working for yourself to, to try to find your own style. Because what happens, much like in elementary school, those dotted lines that, the workbooks that you would do, and you trace over and until you eventually be able to form your own swirls and you sign your name your own way. But sometimes you just kind of have to work at it right here. But it's not being like everybody else that's going to make you great. What's actually going to separate you is when you're not like everybody else, but you just follow your own heart. You do what you love. You paint what you love. You create what you love. And you create this little thing that has your mark on it, to the point where people are able to see a painting that you did or a piece of art that you did, and they can say, oh my gosh, I recognize who the artist was, right? I recognize it by, how they brought that together, because they have that personal touch on it. Because when you're not putting things out into the world that you're stealing from other people, which is a no-no, but it's coming from within, what happens is, what you're putting on paper is basically what's inside yourself. You're letting it come out through that magic wand of a paintbrush, right? And I always think about, now I realize why, if you've ever watched movies where they go, to the people and they go, what do you see? The therapist goes, what do you see when I hold up this card? And, sometimes the responses of the movies are like some crazy things. One person sees a bunny and the other person sees some like, unmentionable thing. And you're like, what? How do you get that, right? So what you put on paper and what you put out in the world is, who you are. And so, put it out there. So if you love butterflies, put it out there. If you love flowers, put it out there. If you love the sea, put out things like that make you happy. You're going to be happier painting and working on things that come from you naturally. And yeah, just because it's within you. It's what makes you tick. So for example, if you love color, I'm a girl who loves some color. And, we've just gone through all kinds of just, interior design, anything like that. It comes in cycles, but we've just gone through a period where a lot of things have been whitewashed and grays. And I love that, right? I love that maybe for somebody who wants that, but for me, I need to have my color. I need to have like things going on. It makes me happy, and your home is your happy space. So do what you want. And this is your life, right? Not anybody else's. This ain't no dress rehearsal. Today is the day that you're actually living. You are here. So yeah, don't put things off. Do it now and do what you love. But even though we live through that period, stay true to yourself and do what you love to do, because what you'll find is you can keep painting in color and you will find an audience that loves color. I'm just kind of saying that as an example, but pick something, So anyhow, you don't have to be like everybody else. Do what you love to do. And if you're somebody who paints and maybe you're filling up a booth with things, that doesn't mean that you can't do things in white and creams and grays, because those are very neutral, right? That would fit into a lot of different people's home decor, because it is so neutral. But what it means is that if you get bored of painting over and over again white furniture, or doing a certain style, change it up. You can have a little bit of that, but you don't have to go down a path that is just not where your heart is, right? So change it up, and it's going to be okay if you do. The next one I wrote down was, it's imagining, this is me writing down my cryptic words, but it's imagining and thoughts, but stay grounded. There's a business side, there's admin that's got to be done. It's not all playing. You've got to learn to market and do other stuff. And this is key, the vehicle to get your work out there. So with that thought, I was saying to myself that, you could paint the most beautiful things and never show them to anybody. But if you are trying to grow your work, if you fall in one of those buckets where you would love to be able to paint from the beach, if you would like to be able to paint from your van, hello, those are things that I strive for, and be able to travel on the road and see this beautiful country wherever you live, travel the world, whatever you want to do, set your life up for that. But remember that you have to do the business side as well to be able to grow that. So if you don't want to just paint from home base, but you want to be able to paint from around the world and travel, then remember that you have to grow your business. So it's not just all the making, it's putting it out there for everybody else to enjoy as well, right? Think about how sad it would be if our favorite designers and creators didn't put things out there that we love, like that vase of flowers, or I don't know, these furry pillows and all the colorful designs, or these chairs. Those were all design concepts, right? Those were all ideas that somebody had, and they were brought to life. And I am so happy because it creates, this rug that's here behind me. I love this blue and yellow rug that's here behind me. And it makes me happy every single day. But I'm so glad that things come from not just the thought, but it's the doing. So the number 3 thing I'm trying to say here is there is imagining, and yes, and there's all the thoughts, but remember that if you want to grow your business, there is the business side. So always ask yourself, what have you done today to market your business? What have you done today to not just take your paintings or your artwork from being on your easel or, in front of you on a table or in a room, share them with the world, share your gifts with the world. There's so much joy in that. And when you get to a point where sharing your gifts and what you love to do help other people, it'll just come back to you tenfold. And doing it comes with ease. Like, I love talking about what we're talking today because painting, artistry, getting creative, it changed my life. And I'll share more of my story here on this channel, but if you've been following me for a while, then you know what I'm talking about. And so I'm so thankful. So I hope that, this chat today is going to encourage you as well. Just to do it, to make it happen. You have the power. It's all up to you. Today, post a picture of something that you're working on. Today, finish up a project that you've had in the works forever, right? This is your life and nobody else is responsible for it but you. So if you want to make it happen, you got to make it happen. So the next thing I wrote down was routine is good. I said here, do something every day that moves your business forward. Maybe if you are a morning person, do the hard stuff in the morning. Half day, do one thing, switch it over, set a timer if you have to. Oh, I gotta stretch my leg out. So that was kind of like on the heels of number 3 about it's not just imagining, it's the doing as well, right? So you kind of gotta make sure that you market as well. To move your business forward, but routine is good. So you know what, if you want to get up in the morning and you are just an early bird and you love to paint in the morning, well, you know what, reserve that time for painting in the morning. If you're somebody who you're better to responding to emails, to packing or shipping or posting things on social media or doing live videos or recording yourself. Like right now I'm recording myself on a Sunday and I'm aligning this chat with you guys with the time that works best for me, because this is where I'm feeling like, yeah, I'm ready to go today. I'm ready to chat today. I'm ready to turn on the camera today, right? So align your business for you, which is very, very important. But also do plan your day out at a time that's optimal for you as best possible. When I first got into the creative world, I was working a full-time job. So at that point, obviously I had to focus on my full-time job, but you better bet that when my full-time job was done and I was coming home at the end of the day, that I was making use of that time that I had from there on, because during the day I worked for somebody else. They paid my paycheck, right? And when I got home, I had to, look at that rest of the day that I had. And we all have the same 24 hours in a day. So if you're looking at somebody else going, how are they doing it? Or, it's because they probably have, they got a good schedule for productivity. They've worked out time management. So maybe that's something you need to look at. You can set timers, but work that's best for you when you feel the strongest to do a certain thing. So if you are better at, like I said, writing descriptions or working on a website at a certain time of the day, do that at that certain time of the day. The next thing I wrote, number 5, was batching things out. Again, I wrote these, like I said, in no specific order, but you can tell they kind of like all lead into each other. That was just my train of thought when I wrote this. Batching things out, and then I put down paintings, postings, which means to tell you guys that if you are in a zone right now, so I'm in a zone right now, I'm focused on doing this video right now with you guys. I'm going to hammer through some things that really helped me when I look back, that just realizations that I had that at the time I wasn't clear on. Batching things out. You know, I could have did better earlier on. Now I know it, meaning that, yeah, stick with the schedule. So in the morning, you know what, I'm going to work on working on my paintings when I get up. That's the best time for me. So I'm going to spend the morning working on my paintings. In the afternoon, I'm going to batch things out and I'm going to work on some social media postings. I'm going to edit some photos. So what I mean is when we bounce around, if I were to turn off this camera right now and go out and start making supper, oh yeah, I started to say what time I was making this video. Yeah, it's like right around supper hour right now. So, you know, if I were to go out right now and make some supper and start, you know, cooking up something and turn off this camera, I'd come back on and be like, what were we doing again? Oh yeah, all right, it takes me a minute. So when you are, you know, when you are laser beam focused in on what you're doing, you move quicker. So think about people, departments, or think about, let's talk about departments or factories. You know, everybody has a specific job to do, and because of that, they become so efficient. So if you think about a factory lines, if your job was to stamp something, whatever it was, using that as an example, if you had to stamp something, open up an envelope, take a piece of paper, fold it up, put it in the envelope, seal it, address it, all these things, whereas your job is to put the stamp on. And the person before you know what they did? They maybe like applied the address. And the person before that, maybe they did the envelope stuffing. The person before that, they folded the paper. You become so efficient because you're doing the same thing over and over again, right? You are just totally zoned in on that. So think about that when you are also, growing your art business, that if you want to say, I'm going to take the morning to brainstorm marketing ideas. I just want to get in the zone. I'm going to get up, I'm going to drink coffee. I'm going to take my pen and paper, my whiteboard, and I'm going to, just really carve out some time for me. It's important to do that. I'm just thinking all the things that go into your business, painting in the morning, filming videos in the afternoon, whatever you want to do, as long as you do what you want. All right. Sorry guys, my camera cut off there at that point. So maybe we'll do one final one, which is so important, and I'll leave it at this one. And then when I come back on for my next video, I will continue on. And also tell me if you are enjoying this video below and if it is very helpful. And if you enjoy listening, listening to thoughts from other artists, people who have transitioned from just doing the regular rat race, we'll call it, to being able to make a living making money from your art and doing what you love to do. So let's see, what were we at? Number 6. Okay, this was the really important one. I wrote down, visualize your future, manifest what you want. So what you don't want to do is to build a business that does not make you happy, because business is hard enough as it is. There's a lot of, if business was easy, everybody would do it. So build a business in the manner that you want, at least at the time that you want to build it, because we grow and we evolve. And so just because we did something at one point in time doesn't mean that you can't change. That's a whole other topic, right? Man, I have changed and pivoted so many different times in my business, because you grow as a person, you grow as an artist, you grow as a creative, and what, really made you happy and brought you energy before sucks the life out of you now, just because you've changed, and that is completely normal. That is completely normal. It's businesses that don't change and don't continue to just move and evolve that get stagnant, right? So I am all about asking yourself, what is it that you want from your business? What is it that you want from life? And making sure that you set up everything so it aligns. You don't want to climb a ladder and get to the top and realize that the view was not the view that you wanted, right? So you can change that at any given time. And you are allowed to do that. You don't need permission from anybody else. So if there's something right now that you have wanted and your business is honestly, it's holding you back from something you want in life, then change it up, align it with where you want to be and what you want to do. One of the things, if I were to think about like what I've manifested, I'm so glad that I did and I worked so hard for it, was to be able to purchase this old home and have all the square footage that I needed to be able to not only live here, but to be able to work here as well, and to be able to have my own studio within it. Because when I first started my creative journey, I was working in a garage that had no electricity. So, you know, you could only work there certain times. Then I would pull stuff into my house. I would work in my kitchen. I would work around my kitchen table. And you know what? And that was wonderful. That worked out exactly. You know, that was exactly what I needed at that time. But then as I grew, what I found was I was spending long hours at my studio shop. And then, you know, if I wanted to work because I'm a night owl, I wanted to work 11, 12 o'clock at night, it would mean that I would be away from my family, from my pets. I would have to travel, even on snowy, treacherous roads, watching the weather to make sure that if I went to the shop, I could get home from the shop, you know, sometimes just white knuckling it on my way home. And you know, when you're in the creative world, if you know, my personal thoughts are, you got to do what works for you, because we all tick a little differently. But I really like I love being able to be creative when the mood hits me. So now if I want to, you know, 11 o'clock at night, I've said before on this channel, I could go downstairs to, I don't know, get a glass of water and then take a side trip to my studio that turns into like a 2-hour session where Matt has to come go, you know, where'd you go? I thought you went to the kitchen, you know. I'm like, oh yeah, no, I stopped over here and now I want to paint, because I paint when that desire hits me. So I personally, there's advantages and disadvantages to having your own shop and having it separated from your home, but there's also advantages to having it in your home, and I have done both. So maybe I'll talk on that sometime. Tell me if that's something you'd like to hear about, and tell me right now, do you do art? Do you have a separate you know, established area within your home? Is the kitchen table like I was when I first started, is that your thing? Do you have maybe, you know, your art space is a container, you know, a storage container unit that contains all the things that you pull out and sit to the table when you're ready to go? I'm just thinking back to all the times that our kitchen table couldn't even function as a table because all my art stuff was on it, right? Don't eat on the table where you're supposed to. But anyway, it's all part of the journey, and it is all good. It becomes all part of your story. So yeah, make sure you align your business in the way that you want to, manifest what you want, visualize your future. So I visualized and I worked hard to be able to manifest a place where I could work and live in, and be able to do that. Yeah, and be able to do that and be able to move, which, you know, when I purchased this home, it was several hours from where I was living before, and my business was set up in a manner that I could do that. So it's important to think about what you want for your future, visualize you doing it, and then go make it happen. So more to come. I'll talk more on that subject as well going forward. So anyway, this was our weekly Sunday chat. Let me know if there was something that stood out to you. Most of all, you know, stop thinking, stop overthinking, start doing, and put yourself out there, and, you know, practice your artwork. And if you want to get better, well, if you didn't practice it today or this week, that's not really going to help, right? So yeah, just do it. Like I always say, it's progress over perfection, and doing is better than not doing. So I hope this has been encouraging to you guys, and I will see you guys again very, very soon. All right, take care. Bye.